Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to State of the Federation, your one-stop shop for all things Star Trek Attack Wing strategy. On tonight's show, we are joined once again by our illustrious co-hosts. We have, if my thing is working, oop, get rid of that. We have Tucker. Tucker, how's it going today?
We are the Borg. The Borg are annoying.
Uh-oh. Little bit of a change. And David.
We are the Federation. We just got an awesome new toy.
You say you're the Federation, but you still have a Borg thing as your picture.
We are half assimilated.
We are Assimilation Target Prime. We are the hybrid Borg. I don't know.
There we go.
Yes, welcome to another broadcast of State of the Federation. Today's show we will have the Vulcan and Mirror Universe previews from Resistance is Futile. That'll finish up the Resistance is Futile blind boosters. And we will also take the opportunity to talk about some strategy for Resistance is Futile OP1. And I was going to say the name of it, but I forgot what the name of it was. I remember it being not entirely interesting, though. Oops. But yes, we have a great show for you today, guys. And with that, I think I will throw it over to Tucker. Tucker, would you rather we start with the Vulcan ship or the Mirror Universe ship?
I think people are probably going to be more interested in the Mirror Universe one, so let's probably start with that.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right, welcome to our... Well, it's not really our first Mirror Universe ship, but it is the first one that'll be more readily available, I guess. Still not quite retail, but it has a lot of neat, interesting things going for it. As interesting with the Mirror Universe, it is everything of a different universe, not necessarily things that go together. So we have a Galler class with an alternate Federation Tasha Yar, and who knows what else we'll be getting with future Mirror Universe packs.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning, when this was first spoiled, I looked it up and confirmed. The Prakesh, the named Cardassian Gaylor ship in this pack, is not from the Mirror Universe in the show. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
What was it from? I don't even remember.
It's from DS9. It's one of the ones where they just sort of mention the name offhand. Let me look it up and I'll tell you exactly.
But yeah, just a regular old Cardassian ship. Woo!
It's just a ship that gets blown up by the Cardassians in The Way of the Warrior Part 1, I think.
Well, see, it's come back. David, you are Federation now. I love it.
Yes. Had to adjust.
All right, so the Prakesh. The Mirror Universe Galler class is actually pretty much identical to its Prime Universe counterpart, but the upgrade slots are a little different. You know, 4 attack, 1 defense, 4 hull, 4 shields. It only has 1 tech slot instead of 2, but it has 2 weapon slots and 1 crew slot. For 26 points, it still does not get the battle stations. It has the evade, target lock, and scan. And its ability is after you move, if you are within range 1 of a friendly ship, you may immediately perform one of the actions listed on your action bar as a free action. To me, that ability is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's very what's weird about it is that it's a very Dominion ability on a not Dominion ship. If you look at 4th Division Battleship and 2nd Division Cruiser, they both have very sort of similar action economy if I'm close to another friendly ship. The Kraxon has a similar thing.
Mm-hmm. The Jem'Hadar abilities and continuous effects.
So what's odd to me about this is It honestly, it looks like the ship was supposed to be Dominion, and then they just needed a mirror universe ship or something, so they just put the mirror universe symbol on it.
Get some mirror universe representation from all the races.
I guess.
Because we definitely have a mirror universe Klingon coming out soon in what is it? Regent's flagship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we have the ISS Enterprise on tap.
Mm-hmm.
The Avenger.
Yeah.
I think what also this does though is it gives the Prime Universe, or not the Prime Universe, but the other mirror universe ships access to a lot of very interesting cards. Like before, all the new races came out and everything. Dominion was kind of the mash a couple factions into one, so you had a lot of different ways you could play it. It seems like between Assimilation Target Prime, the Prakesh here, and probably the Klingon, the Regency one, we're going to have a wide variety of stuff just crammed into Mirror Universe, so you can do kind of whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of that, but I guess the alternative would be, I mean, I just don't know how they do it in terms of where do you put Tasha Yar, for example? Because I think the only reasonable place is on the prize ship. And like, where do you put alternate Worf? I mean, he's not on any of the ships that have been released, including Assimilation Target Prime. So
well, no, there was an alternate Worf on APT.
There was an alternate Worf. An alternate Worf did exist, but the Worf that's pictured is from Parallels, I think, and he's not. In fact, I think he's actually main universe Worf. He
Stuck
just
in the wrong timeline.
Right, which makes it even more. I think they just wanted an excuse to print another Worf card. Honestly,
I guess the interesting thing to remember though is that this is still Mirror Universe unique, so that doesn't preclude a Prime Universe Prakesh from existing.
I guess it just won't have the same ability, which I think is disappointing.
Yeah, the ability is pretty fantastic. David, how do you feel about it?
The first thing that strikes me is with Mirror Riker, you get the potential to do all 3 actions every single turn.
And that's nice even just in faction with their 2 ships they only have.
Oh yeah. I mean, just to be able to go evade, target, lock, scan on everything, I'll take that.
Indeed. I like that, actually. It's a shame we still don't get battle stations, but if you throw the... Yeah. It's neat to note that if you threw the battle station's flagship on here, the battle station is now technically on your action bar.
Right. And so for 30 points, you can do 3. For 40 points, you'd have access to everything you want.
What's the battle stations? Give me a sec. What does that give you? That gives you a
Independent Romulan. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's no hole, but everything else.
Well, attack, agility, shield. So that would make this a 5-2-5-4, right?
5-2-4-5.
5-2-4. Yeah, 5-2-4-5 for 40 points with the ability to do all actions every turn. Yes, and you give a bonus die to your other guy because if you're getting that extra action, you're within range 1 of them.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I take that for $1. So, I mean, among the blind ships, I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best.
When we get to the Vulcan ship, I'll give my opinion on that. But for now, I'd say I wouldn't be so hasty.
Gotcha. All right. Our captain for this one, however, is Mr. Garrick. And he's a Mirror Universe Garrick, so he can still be used with DS9 upgrade pack Garrick. We have... It's interesting that we have a skill 3 captain for 2 Mirror Universe points. He is not having a whatchamacallit, a talent slot, even though Crew Garrick does. And his ability is during the roll attack die step of the combat phase, you may discard one of your crew to roll +1 attack die.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this universe Garrick is an idiot, so...
Is this Regency Garrick that was always just the sniveling toady? It's like, oh, it's all the Regent's fault, or no, it's all the Intendant's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the only that is the only Garrick we ever saw in a mirror universe, to my knowledge. So yes, this is him.
It's no wonder he sucks.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, yeah, he is rather terrible. Like
He's got he's what? That's Lore's ability, right? I'm not crazy.
Lore, yeah, and he doesn't add an extra crew slot, and he doesn't get a talent, and he doesn't get a free talent or a unrestricted talent. Like I'm kind of disappointed in general that a lot of the lower level captains just really don't have very good abilities to make up for their low captain skill.
With the exception of a couple Romulans.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple here and there, but for the most part, there's no reason to run a lot of the 3 and 4 captains.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. They're like tertiary choices. They're that third captain you throw in because they're better than a skill 1 guy.
Yeah, and the really disappointing thing, I guess, is that it doesn't. What I really wish is that taking low skill. Of course, the huge exception to this is the Borg trollololol.
Yeah.
But taking a low skill captain is never a strategic choice. It's almost always just bad or done because of points. You know. In fact, I really wish. Imagine, for example, a captain that had Picard's ability with 1 skill. You know,
that'd be awesome.
Do you run that? Huh?
That would be incredible.
Well, no, maybe not for like 1 point, Will.
Oh.
But
well,
like,
see, now you just broke all my hopes and dreams.
No, I didn't break all of your hopes and dreams. Let me do that now. There's never going to be a ship that'll let you run 3 assimilation tubules. There, I just broke all your hopes and dreams.
That's okay. I only need 2.
But no, I mean, like, the point is, it's like right now, you always want to run the highest skill captains you can afford. And that makes sense in your build. And that just, I don't know. I would prefer more strategic complexity than that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the only captains that break the rule are like Weyoun, Sopek, and Denatra.
That's about it. Spock.
Yeah, Spock's pretty good. But I mean, you'll never see like Nudok or Krell or Tomalak.
Worf also breaks this rule, come to think of it. Nudok is interesting. I ran Nudok in a fleet, actually.
He's actually okay. He's one of the better low-skill captains.
Right. Well, what you do is or no, I didn't run him. I think my girlfriend ran him. Yeah, because she didn't have. I forget why. There was a reason. Anyway, that's not important. We're getting off track here.
Yep. Continue on.
Sure.
All right. We don't have a talent in this pack, but we do have a cloaking device. It's pretty much the same standard cloaking device that came with the Keldon class or the Defiant. But the additional text here is this upgrade costs +5 squadron points for any non-mirror universe ship. So this applies to every mirror universe ship, not just a particular class. You can throw this on Assimilation Target Prime. I'm sure the Regency 1 won't need it, but I mean any other mirror universe ship.
Actually, in canon, the entire plot of an episode is that the mirror universe steals a cloaking device from the Prime universe because cloaking devices, in the mirror universe, the Klingons never allied with the Romulans, so they never got cloaking technology from them. So the Regency's ship may well not cloak.
That's an interesting point. I had not considered that.
Yeah, I know way too much Star Trek.
Jeez, Tucker, you're such a nerd.
I am such a nerd.
But yes, so the ramifications for this, I like it. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the cloaking device because of its action economy usage, but I mean, for what it does, it's not too bad, and I almost never use cloaking outside of like the first or second round anyway. I don't know. This maybe someone who plays a more cloaking fleet would have a better idea. Either of you one of those guys?
I've done it in the past, but there's a reason I stopped.
Go ahead.
It's just too hard on your one bad defense roll and you're done. And while that's okay with your native cloakers, it's really a pain with upgrades to try to come back for it. I mean, most of the time you just leave it disabled. I'm with you. You go in there, you make one pass, and then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I've played a lot of cloakers because my main build prior to Borg was 3 Borchas, especially when I was playing in a more ship pure, faction pure environment. And I'm going to tell you, even a real cloaker struggles to have the action economy to cloak consistently once the engagement has been begun. I've never been happy with the cloaking device. You really need to roll. Honestly, if you're going to roll with the cloaking device, you need to roll on your ship. But with that said, one thing this makes me happy is you can put it on the USS Enterprise D from the Assimilation Target Prime Pack, and between the D's native ability and this, you can pretend you're running the Galaxy X Dreadnought from All Good Things.
Where's my Admiral Riker and Data with a skunk hairdo?
Does D even have a tech slot? I thought it was just 3 weapons and 2 crew.
Well, shut up.
I mean, I know you can get it, but...
No, you're right, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, the D does not have a tech, but the generic Galaxy that's Borg mirror does.
Yeah, but that's different.
I put it on that.
That's a different universe.
It is.
I mean, it'd be a little crazy if you could get this thing so easily on a ship that had battle stations now. Because that is what I like to do with these cloaking devices. I won't really put it on a ship unless it also has battle stations.
Right.
Because battle stations really brings your defense die probability way up. Yeah. All right. That is pretty standard for cloaking device. We have a couple weapons here to go for. We have the forward weapons grid, which is slightly different than the Prime Universe forward weapons grid. This is a 4-point Mirror Universe weapon. It's only range 1 to 2, but it has 6 attack dice instead of 5. You disable the card to perform the attack, so you don't need a target lock. You must divide the attack between 2 different ships in your forward firing arc. You may divide your attack dice however you like, but you must roll at least 2 attack dice against each ship. And then you place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. So... differences is you can spend 2 attack dice. The other one you only had to spend at least 1. And this one requires an auxiliary power token while the other one didn't require either. The first one, I thought way back in the beginning of the game that it might be a good anti-swarm card. I was terribly, terribly mistaken. This one, I'm not really feeling it either, sadly.
Yeah, full assault this ain't.
And it doesn't get you +3 attack dice on a Borg cube, which could be useful.
Look, do people run full assault on non-Borg cubes? No. Would you run it if it only worked at range 1 to 2 and gave you an auxiliary power token? Hell no.
Nah. I saw one guy run it once, that one time.
I've seen it on bits. I've ran it. I've just never used it.
I've run it and used it, and it actually won me a game. But that was a fluke, I want to say. It was in collective OP1, and somebody was running like a... I think once they had their blind, they had 4 or 5 ships. And I think it was 4 ships total. And if it wasn't for full assault, I wouldn't have been able to take them out. So...
yeah, but who runs more than one ship these days?
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, full assault maybe has a place. Forward weapons grid, way too restrictive. If it was you have to roll at least 1 attack die against each ship, and you could go 5-1, then there's something. But
If you could have range bonus on this thing, that would be something.
Right. Basically, this says make a normal attack against someone and then make a 2-die attack against somebody else. It's not worth it.
Especially since you can't do it at range 3 where you're at least denying them the defense die.
Exactly.
What? You have that backwards.
Range 3? You don't get an extra defense die when you're...
Second weapon. I got you. I got you what you're saying.
Gotcha.
With you.
Though
That
next
shows
we
how
have...
much I use secondary weapons, huh?
Hmm?
So that shows how much I use secondary weapons, huh?
But hey, here's a secondary weapon you might use. We have a Mirror Universe dorsal weapons array. One of the most useful ones in the Prime Universe. At least I would argue that. 3 attack, 1 to 2 range instead of 1 to 3. That can hurt a bit. But it is only 2 points in the Mirror Universe faction. You just disable the card to perform the attack. You may fire this weapon in any direction. I don't think it's terrible, but I'm not sure how well it compares to the Prime dorsal weapons array.
I'd put it on the Enterprise D mirror. 4 dice.
Yeah, that would get you your 360 back.
You get your Voyager 360.
And it is a pretty good deal for Mirror Universe ships. They're at 2 points for this versus 4 for just the 1 extra range.
Right.
Is it 4?
Hmm?
Is it 4? Wow.
Well, it would be 4 on a mirror ship because of penalty.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yes. Yeah, no, it's a good deal. I like it.
I'd probably run it. I'd probably run it on a mirror ship, but if I was running a Prime ship, I'd probably go for the regular array unless I really, really needed that 1 point.
You could see that, yeah.
Yeah. There's situations where you want that 1 point, but I'm with you. More often than not, I'd rather have the flexibility of range 3.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, this is almost certainly what you want on the blind buy, though.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, for blind buy, a 360 arc is amazing.
On top of its 180 arc in the forward, the fact that the ship doesn't have, like a regular Gala class, it does not have a come about or a full astern. So if something gets behind it, it's pretty rough. Yeah. Good shot for the blind. Last but not least, we have Miss Tasha Yar, who completely fits in with the rest of this pack.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
She's totally Cardassian now. Tasha Yar, if your ship was just destroyed, discard this card to target 1 enemy ship within range 1 to 3 if possible. Immediately make 1 free attack against that ship with 4 attack dice. If the target ship is in your forward firing arc, that ship rolls -2 defense dice against this free attack. This is a 2-point Mirror Universe crew upgrade. Interesting. It's nice to get a free attack in. It's not so cool to have to lose your ship. I mean, this is basically I stab at thee. Targeted I stab at thee. I stab at thee.
Yeah, I'm not fond of cards that require you to take damage or lose your ship in order to use them.
And they do get defense, though it's likely that they will get less defense. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is another card that's good on the blind booster because that ship's probably going down, and it has a 180 forward firing arc.
Mm-hmm. So free attack definitely wouldn't hurt.
Especially because that has about a 50%. That has a 50% chance of getting -2 defense dice.
Oh yeah. And with all the Borg and Voyager we're seeing these days, I'm seeing a lot of just head-on jousting situations, I would think. Especially if your other ship is something that's pretty much immune to damage.
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning, by the way, by the implicit text of it, this is a 360 attack.
Oh yeah.
Which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, it does not have to attack the ship that destroyed it.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that's correct.
If it hit one of those new Borg mines coming out in Wave 8 that you triggered yourself, you could get this free attack on an enemy ship.
Mm. If you blew up your own ship by using haze, for example, you could get this free attack.
Or self-destruct sequence.
Or self-destruct. Ooh. Ooh.
This is why you guys keep me around.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
I wonder how many I stab at these we can fit on a ship with self-destruct sequence and Tasha Yar.
Put it on a Borg cube?
Hey, here's a question. Does this work with cheat death?
Tasha Yar does.
Great. Okay, I like her better now.
She doesn't have any of those silly restrictions like ramming speed or whatever else it was.
You know something? That must be why they say discard this card.
Mm-hmm. So you can't use it over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's ways to not discard her.
Please don't tell me you're thinking of putting Wei-Yun with something that grants him an elite talent and cheat death and Tasha Yar.
Oh, no, we could put this on a bug and have it do a suicide attack as well.
That's true.
And I don't see this as a secondary attack. So if you're at range 1 because of suicide attack, that sounds like a 5-die attack to me.
That's correct.
Highly likely in your forward firing arc.
Highly, yes.
That's it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
I like this card. Look, for 2 points, this is so Dave quoted me once myself saying that if you have to work this hard to make a card work, it's not worth it. This card is the opposite of that. This card is a build around me card. It's not always going to be good, but this card you actually do want to put a lot of work into making work just because it's good enough in the right combination that it pulls its own weight in that way.
It's super cheap. It doesn't care what your normal attack is on your ship. If you put this on a science vessel, you're still getting 4 attack. And I mean, it can just even without that, it's a contingency plan. I mean, that was what I Stab at Thee kind of did for a lot of games way back when it was first released. You know, if you're down to one-on-one and you're having problems, you just stick real close on the enemy ship, and if they blow you up, you still have a chance of just winning the game outright because this is an effect that triggered on your destruction. And that is in the rules. If you destroy your opponent's last ship with one of those kind of effects, you are technically the winner, even if everyone's dead.
Yeah. And this doesn't worry about initiative order or even captain skill number. Like, you can have Tasha on a skill 1 captain blow up and still destroy your opponent.
You know what's interesting also, though, is if your captain is the same skill, I read this as you getting 2 shootbacks.
Yes.
Well, or if it was a higher skill, you'd have gotten to shoot the first time anyway.
Sorry?
Or if you had the higher captain skill, you'd have gotten the shoot back anyway, the shoot first. But either way, 2 attacks. And
remind me of Tasha Yar when we talk about OP1, because I have sort of a crazy idea.
Okay.
Tasha Yar, OP1. All right. David, you're in charge of that.
Will do.
But yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty darn solid blind booster ship. I mean, for myself, I think I would just go Prakesh Dorsal Weapons Tasha.
Oh yeah, no question.
I don't know if the generic probably has a tech slot, but I'm not sure if I really need cloaking device that bad on this.
You don't, and the only time I could see you not you know what, the generic the Prakesh's ability is so good. This is one of the few packs where I do not see you running the generic at all. In my mind, the only build you go for if you open Prakesh is Prakesh Tasha Yar Dorsal Weapons.
Extra, you get your 2 actions every turn. So even if they're behind you, you can re-enable Dorsal and still get a target lock.
Right, and then Tasha Yar, who we've talked about her in the normal context, but in a blind booster context where you don't really expect this ship to survive very long, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, she'll always get her ability. pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, who's going to run a mine that hits you like 4 range away from everything else?
And by the way, here's another thing. If you really need to, under some weird circumstance, you can fly off the board and trigger her.
What?
I don't know why you would ever want to do that, but in case you have to, it's possible.
Or in case you accidentally fly off the board.
I have a rule book here. Is that really how that works?
Your ship is destroyed. It doesn't say destroyed by an enemy ship. This is also relevant because if you destroy the ship with your own Borg mines, I don't know what they're called, we're calling them Borg mines now, you could, yeah.
Also, that means you would trigger it in the activation phase.
Yeah, actually you would.
Which is worth some bonuses.
Look, a way to hurt Cloak.
Oh my, See? Cloaking doesn't work in the activation phase.
See, there's a way to do it. You run around a ship that has a reverse, you can reverse yourself off the board. Still
on turn 1.
Not an action, and they'll be in your forward firing arc.
But it still wouldn't be within range 1 to 3 for the most part.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
Hey, yeah, we could get the whole Picard maneuver in Cha and Picard's ability to get across to go off your opponent's side of the board on round 1.
This is a weird corner case that is almost never going to matter, but I promise you, sometime, somewhere, someone will do it. Nice. And it will be glorious.
All right. So, that has been then our evaluation of the Mirror Universe Blind Booster for Resistance is Futile. Let's see. Just real quick before we move on, Dan, welcome to the chat room. It's good to see you here. Dan is one of the hosts on the other Star Trek podcast, Trek Talking, on Thursday nights. I'll give them a quick shout out. Blog Talk Radio / Trek Talking. Been on there, cameoed on there once or twice to help them with some rulings and some reviews. So they're some pretty cool people.
Thanks for inviting us, Dan.
Uh-oh, now he's in trouble.
Nah, he seems cool.
Yeah, I've hung out there in the chat room a couple of times. Not lately. It's on a little too early for me, but I try to catch it on the replay, and I enjoy what you guys do, Dan. It's good stuff. It's nice to hear other perspectives on Star Trek.
Oh yeah, they're cool guys, and they're not quite as heavily strategic as we giant nerds are over here, but like I definitely have a couple of the people I play with, especially the new ones coming in. These guys will help give away some of the extra blind ships that they get, or some of the resources that they might not have access to. So it's definitely a good show for newcomers.
3 things you say.
With that,
I really didn't have class in the middle of it.
All right. With that, I believe it's time for some Vulcan. Well, I was going to say Vulcan love, but now I got to say Vulcan Ponfar.
Vulcan logic, thank you very much.
Yeah, come on. Bring in the talent.
All right. Moving on to the Vulcan blind ship, we have the Tal'Kir, which I successfully predicted would be coming up in these blinds. I had no idea what it was going to be. I just knew the name. But the Tal'Kir is your basic Tal'Kir class, a 3154, 26 points. It has 1 tech, 1 weapon, and 2 crew. I believe that is a change of 1 less tech and 1 more crew.
It's correct.
Haha. It's got the good non-cloaking action bar, so evade, target lock, scan, and battle station. And its ability, each time you defend during the modified defense dice step of the combat phase, you may add 1 evade result to your roll. If you do, place 1 auxiliary power token beside your ship. It is a mini polarized hull plating that doesn't require you to not have shields.
I like it.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So one thing to note is that the guy who won, I think it was the Texas Regional. Yeah, it was the Texas Regional. He won. He beat a lot of people who were using this, but he said it was the most damn annoying ship to kill, and I believe him. Because you can take an evade action and still take their other action, and you're negating 2 damage, and you have 9 durability because this is the Excelsior stat line 3154.
Mm-hmm.
You get one of the upgrades repairs. Like this ship is so ridiculously, stupidly hard to kill.
Like I could see this being definitely a pain also in smaller point, or even, I know we don't talk about it much, but era pure games, like in an Enterprise or original series era, where the attack values aren't quite so ridiculously high.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is one of the best ships in an era pure game.
Yeah. The Vulcans have always been ridiculously strong in era pure, and this really... I mean, if I could only run one Vulcan ship in an era pure game, I'd run this over the Tal'Kir every single time, and the Tal'Kir was already cleaning up. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I like about this is it does not require you to not have a power token. So if at any point it's getting, say, swarmed, you can use this against every attack. You can stack up your power tokens as high as you want and be like, screw it, I don't need actions for the rest of the game.
Yeah. It's versatile, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In that case, you might be better off not using it and just taking an evade every turn, but...
It's some of the same shenanigans I like to pull with the enhanced hull plating, though.
Mm-hmm.
Thing survives forever.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got the generic version, same as the regular generic Tal'Kir, 1 tech, 1 weapon, 1 crew, so nothing really different there.
Mm-hmm.
So then moving on to Captain Vulcan.
Captain Baseball.
We have Solok, who had nothing really to do with Vulcan ships because he was in command of a Nebula class, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But it had an all-Vulcan crew.
What was the name of that ship? The Tecumseh?
It might be. That sounds about right.
Something. I remembered it sounded Native American.
It's Tecumbra.
Tecumbra. Okay.
Which is, by the way, not like spelled like a Native American name would be. It's a Vulcan name, T''Cumbra.
Okay.
Tecumbra.
Huh.
But we have Solok. He is a 6-skill captain with a talent for 4 points, and to keep in mind, this is highly comparable to Mr. Spock from our Federation. Seems kind of ironic enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may perform an evade or a scan action as a free action each round. If you do so, though, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. So, not quite as good as other free action granters, but he still gets a free action. David, what do you think about him?
On the blind ship, I don't like him.
Because of the power token stacking?
The power token, yeah. You just have too many power tokens, and with the Tal'Kir's ability, if you already have power tokens, you can't take actions, free or otherwise, so Solok is basically a no ability skill 6.
Which is unfortunate.
Outside of that, maybe Solok on the Tal'Kir, I think I like that a bit better.
Yeah, I could see him on...
Solok has potential outside of the blinds.
The thing about Solok is that he's competing with space for, Sopek or Vanek. There are a couple of pretty good Vulcan captains, and it's somewhat mystifying to me that they gave him this drawback because Spock didn't need it, and I don't think this guy needs it either. I guess, to be fair, 3 evades in the blind buy would just be incredibly aggravating. So,
well, no,
hey, you would.
Yeah, you can't double evade because that's doing the same action twice.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, then I have no idea why they did this.
Yeah, I will say I think his action selection seems a little more limited, but I mean I guess he'd be a good way to get scan on maybe a cloaking ship if you really needed it.
He synergizes well with T'Pol, the Vulcan T'Pol.
Mm-hmm.
Vulcan to scan. You know what I might do with him? I put him on the which one is it? The Navarre. +1 attack die with a scan token.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That worked pretty nice.
Yeah,
that
and then
with the combat vessel variant, yeah, you're getting somewhere.
Yeah, 4 dice for 24 points plus T'Pol for defensive rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can do both. Because you can do both on the token because the ship isn't an upgrade.
Oh yes, that is a good point. Splitting the scan token to be used with 2 abilities since they're not both used with an upgrade is legal.
Yeah, and that works out with him to what 31 points. So a good secondary ship if you're running Vulcans.
Not bad. I don't know. That power token just bugs me so much.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The nice thing is Vulcans have more ways of mitigating power tokens than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Tal'Kir makes... If Vulcan wasn't a playable, pure faction fleet before, it is now.
Oh, it always was. This makes it... This is starting to push it into... You want to name 5 major factions? You have Federation, Dominion, Klingons, Romulans, Borg. What's the second? I would say Vulcans at this point. It's right in line with number 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I put Independent above them, even though Independent's more loosely connected.
Yeah, not sure Independent is a faction, really. But, no, you know what, though? I'd rather play Vulcan Pure than Independent Pure.
Well, that is where we must respectfully disagree, sir.
Sure, that's fine.
Eventually, I'd rather play Mirror Pure, but we're getting there.
I feel like we're almost there already, really.
Yeah.
All right, going on to our next card.
Never mind.
We have our magnificent Vulcan Logic. As I tried to... Just got to keep us on track here.
Mm-hmm.
During the roll defense dice step of the combat phase, I should say this is a 4-point talent, you may discard this card to roll +2 defense dice. If you do so during the modified defense dice step, you may re-roll any number of your defense dice. May only be purchased for a Vulcan captain assigned to a Vulcan ship. Did it really have to be a Vulcan ship? Can't it just be a Vulcan captain?
Lore.
Well, yes, but you got better. You still got a better Vulcan-only talent for lore.
I know.
Yeah, welcome to the elite talent that you can't possibly put on your blind ship.
I got it! That's hilarious!
24 generic, 4 for the captain, 4 for the talent. You cannot use it.
WizKids is awesome.
What were we saying earlier? That some of these things might have been designed by interns?
Yeah.
But yeah, so even if it was on the blind ship, I'm not sure I would like it. Since you can't even put it on the blind ship, I don't understand the point of this card. Unless you just want to look at your opponent and say, logic. Which I might do.
That they can attack you, and then when you use it, you can say, I believe that attack was illogical. You know what really annoys me about this, though? No Vulcan ship natively has a defense higher than 1.
Mm-hmm.
And no Vulcan ship, or no Vulcan upgrade increases defense dice on defense, except this. So, this is only ever going to roll you 3 dice with a reroll. So...
Meh.
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 Not worth 4 points.
Yep.
I was hoping Vulcan logic would be stronger.
Yeah. Well, they've really, I mean, WizKids has made some spectacularly bad attempts at making, key universe concepts game relevant. But, I mean, as a Legend of the Five Rings player, I've seen the alternative where the only good things are like the main characters, and you really don't want that.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting Tucker, you got a echo there?
No.
I'm hearing it.
All right, we'll see if that clears up. Next on the list. Okay, we're good. Next on the list, we have Power Grid. Not to be confused with the board game, which is a pretty good board game.
I hate that game.
What?
I hate that game.
It's math. You get to stab your opponents in the face with math.
I hate I hate Euro games so much. This is a whole nother rant.
Power Grid. Whenever you are supposed to place an auxiliary power token beside your ship, you may disable this card instead. It's a 2-point Vulcan tech upgrade. A slightly less versatile than auxiliary control room, but also cheaper. Is it worth it?
I think so.
I think so.
If you plan ahead, then Power Grid is superior to auxiliary control room.
Now see, I'm going to disagree with you here on this one. Again, because that's what I do. I'm a very contrary person. Auxiliary control room lets you remove any kind of power token from your ship at any time. So when you combine that with emergency medical hologram, Phlox, and Lenalis, you are completely immune to any and all power tokens.
No.
Yep.
What? No. No, not at all. Phlox only works during the activation phase. It doesn't help you with Borg missile at all.
The very next turn, the first thing you do is you have five tokens on your ship. You put one on the power room. You give it to the EMH. You disable Lenalis to stop disabling Phlox, as I just almost flick off the camera there. And you re-enable the EMH and Lenalis. You disable to get rid of a power token by disabling the EMH. You disable Lenalis, and you disable Phlox to get them all back.
Okay. Well, don't use Lenalis, use Beverly Crusher.
True. We can now do this almost faction pure with the new Beverly Crusher coming out in the next wave. Yay. But yes, that is why I think auxiliary... without that huge, stupid, silly combo, yes, I would say Power Grid. Power Grid would be a good other choice if you're not going all silly disable shenanigans.
Yeah, and I can't imagine the circumstance under which you would do that.
I could imagine it with all the funny shenanigans I want to do with New Riker also.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, Power Grid's useful. I have a problem with it in this pack, though. If you put it on the Tal'Kir, there's no other 2-point upgrade. So then you're coming up short. So your only option is to put it on the generic.
Which is what doesn't need it.
Which, yeah. It doesn't
you can put it on the generic with Solok.
Yeah, Solok generic Power Grid, I guess. But
see, here's the thing. That's strictly worse than just Tal'Kir because you have to take an action to re-enable the Power Grid.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, I guess this is a no for the blind chip again. Well, no, this could be this is definitely an option, but let's see if there's anything else worth throwing on here, like Photonic Weapon. It's basic Photonic Weapon, range 2 to 3, 4. Excuse me, 4 attack. You may reroll all of your blank results 1 time. 4-point weapon. It's a secondary weapon.
Okay, this is a big deal for Vulcans. This is 1 point more than the Photonic Weapon from the Dakira Nivar. Why is this important? Because it rerolls all of your blank results instead of just 1.
Ah, that is a good point.
That is a major difference.
That is equivalent about plasma torpedoes.
This is plasma torpedoes, basically, except 2 to 3 instead of 1 to 2.
Which actually might be even a little better, because 2 to 3 lets you at least ignore the range 3 defense die without losing the range 1 attack die.
Mm-hmm.
It is nice to be able to shoot out of your rear arc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the Tal'Kir needs it as much. It is kind of low on maneuverability here, but
it's also 1 point more expensive than the roughly equivalent Romulan plasma torpedoes, which annoys me a little bit. But it is probably better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a weapon. It could be a choice. But we also have a 4-point crew by the name of Cove? Cove? Fat
Vulcan.
What was this from?
Enterprise. It's from the crazy episode. It's the ship that Power Grid has, which, by the way, is not the Tal'Kir, and not even the Tal'Kir class. But it's this great episode. Sorry?
Actually, yeah, that certainly doesn't look like a Tal'Kir on that card.
It's not a Tal'Kir. It's a transport. Anyway, but so it's this great episode where they meet a bunch of Vulcans who don't care about logic, and it ends up being a plot device for a really stupid thing later on, where basically T'Pol gets mind raped, and there's a sort of an AIDS subplot, and it's really awful. But there's also a subplot with this guy who's a fat Vulcan. He's a fat Vulcan, you guys.
What?
He likes to eat.
Gluttony.
Yeah.
And that translates into his action by discarding this card to repair up to 2 damage to your ship's hull or shields.
Oh yeah, he's the ship's engineer. Did I not mention that part? He's the ship's engineer. Did I not mention that part?
No, you just mentioned he was fat.
He's fat Vulcan.
Oh.
I've been waiting for this guy to come out since the Vulcans became a faction. I'm sorry.
But besides his eating habits, how do you think of him as a card?
I like it. On the Tal'Kir, I really like it because you're creating a ship that doesn't die easily.
This ship, I mean, spoiler alert, the way I'd run this blind by is Tal'Kir and Kov, which means I'd have a ship with basically with 11 durability and the ability to cancel on most turns two attacks per turn, which is just incredibly irritating.
Yeah, 3 if you roll well.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. You know, that's basically 2 more hull points for 4 points in action. I get that's slightly better economy than other things we have, except for maybe Buka, which is like 3 points for a free 2 hull. But since you can use this guy with shield, you can use it long before you're that close to being, you know, exploded.
That's correct. Yeah.
Which I think is worth the trade-off.
And it's pretty nice. It's nice having the versatility.
Yeah, it's also with one thing is with the exception of T'Pol and of course Kos, Vulcan crew upgrades. I mean, first of all there are only 4 Vulcan crew upgrades, period, and the other 2 are Marok and Vulcan Commandos. Marok is not that great, and Vulcan Commandos, I don't know. I wouldn't run it on this ship because you can only run, or no, it has 2 crew, but like whatever. This guy is probably, I mean, he's sort of leading the pack, but there aren't a lot of contenders for great Vulcan crew right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. But you know, overall, your suggestion was this guy and the Tal'Kir, right?
And I'm with Tucker on that. Maybe the photonic weapon instead, but
that's the only other choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you take Power Grid, you know, you get 1 use out of it, then you have to re-enable it, and that's costing your action. With Solok, I guess you could get an extra action, but it doesn't stack with the Tal'Kir, so that's really not that good.
It stacks with the Tal'Kir, but it doesn't stack with the base evade action, which you can just take anyway.
Mm-hmm. I would say the only other possible thing I could see is taking the power grid with the generic with the photonic weapon is the only other combination that makes any kind of sense at all, and it's still not that good.
Yeah, because the thing is that completely discounts the main advantage of this pack, which is that it's impossible to kill. And that's sort of the point I wanted to make about when you were saying a lot of people feel the Prakesh is the best blind buy. I think that in a one-on-one duel, a Tal'Kir will take a Prakesh every single time.
Yeah, that could be an interesting fight. Let's take it. Let's duke it out right now.
Well, because they fly about the same.
But the Tal'Kir has that ever important backup maneuver, so when you need to get some distance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or
and it has its green maneuvers are a little better, I think.
The greens are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, greens are standard.
Never mind then. Yeah, I was thinking of Kelvin class for some reason, but yeah, Cobb gives increased survivability. The dorsal weapons array is nice, but it's the same number of dice that the Tal'Kir is rolling. I guess the question is, does Tasha Yar kill it on the shoot back?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, there's the The Prakesh does get the extra attack die in place of the free evade every turn, pretty much.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. And I like that there's debate here. I think they're both very useful ships.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in that debate, you also have to toss in the Borg Scout Cube.
Yeah.
Must we?
Well, its maneuverability is stellar, and the photonic weapon or whatever might actually matter.
Yeah. Versus proton beams, 360-degree RX, and good old 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's
a tough choice.
It's just there's a lot of interesting. I disagree with a lot of folks who say that the Mirror Universe is the clear winner here. I really just disagree with that. I think even the Kazon ship can be good enough depending on the right circumstances.
But we all agree. We all agree that we hate the Ferengi.
The Ferengi sucks.
I don't hate the Ferengi, but I think it's the worst one here.
The Ferengi will be useful on exactly one turn, which is when you deploy Thoughtmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I feel the same way about the Ferengi that I felt about the Gavroche. It's situational, but it's the weakest in the pack.
Mm-hmm.
I go for that. Anything else we can do with these? Running these in resistance is futile. Now that we've gone over like all 5 of them. Anything interesting that we can do with resources for these things, like the reinforcement sideboard or anything like that? You think some of these would benefit more from that than others? Because I'm thinking of if you can bring some extra Borg missiles on a reinforcement sideboard and throw them on the Scout Cube, but then you don't have any guarantee you're getting the Scout Cube.
Right.
We've got throwing the extra Kazon cloaking on the sideboard would still cost you the extra points, even if you're going to put it up on the Relora Sancour. If we got no. Like, even if you took one of the fleet captains that reduces points, you still can't fit an extra card in onto the Vulcan Tal'Kir.
Right.
Because there are no 2 upgrades of the same type, which is what you would need.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I don't really see the sideboards helping much in anything. Maybe something with the Borg. Being able to put feedback pulse on a little cube or something, but I don't think... I'm not really convinced that there's a lot that can be done here.
I mean, if you finagled it enough, I suppose you could push Weyoun, Varel, Koss, and Dispersion Field onto your little tiny scout cube. But no, I don't see the resources helping out this set that much. Like last set, putting a dorsal weapons array on the Maquis Raider was fantastic for me.
Yeah.
Extra attack dice helped make up for the low attack of it, and the good defense rating of it was pretty good.
Yeah, it helped on the Vort of War too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I think anything that has. I mean, I think every single ship except the Ferengi. No, they have photon. They don't have a rear arc though, do they?
No.
So I think every single ship except the Ferengi native. In fact, if the Kazon is 180, every single ship except the Ferengi natively has in its blind buy the capability for 270 degrees of 4 dice or better.
274, 360, 183, 184, 183.
No. I'm counting secondaries here. That's why I'm saying potential. And then photonic weapon, I think, is 4 dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's range 1, but it's 360 with the Borg.
And the Borg is only 3 attack dice, but still.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no. There's just a lot of great arc here. There's a lot of, and the upgrades are decent too, except the Ferengi. So my guys, my advice to you going into OP1 is don't get the Ferengi.
You have an 8 out of 10 chance to not get it.
Don't fail.
Oh my God, Dave! Call it a 4 out of 5 chance.
No, we want bigger numbers.
How about an 80% chance? Everyone understands percentages.
Hey, I play XCOM. I know an 80% chance means you fail.
Oh boy, Will. That's because
well, if you're at a 10-person venue, 2 people will fail.
This is our pop culture reference show of the month. I'm gonna pull in every single thing I can think of.
XCOM. Oh God.
We already had a slight board game conversation, so yeah.
I'm not going back there. You can't send me back out there, man.
We won't go back.
We won't go back.
All right. So I think that's going to do it. That does it pretty much for our Resistance's Futile blind buys, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's good things. Which leads us into, at long last, our new storyline and the Resistance is Futile Month 1 overview, Dark Frontier. I would say we're not going to go over all the rules to this, but the rules are so short that it's not really that hard. So in this scenario, basically you have kind of a replay of the Tholian web scenario. You know, the outside is hot lava and you don't want to walk on it.
It's like moderately warm lava. It only kills you after a while.
It's slow lava.
Slow. So acid, maybe.
Each of your ships, and this is kind of the counterintuitive part, each of your ships gets 4 mission tokens. If you are ever in possession of 0 mission tokens remaining among your ships, you are detected by the Borg and you automatically lose. The silly thing is, though, that like one of your ships can be detected without any mission tokens on it, but as long as you still have at least 1 with mission tokens on it, you're not detected.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not going to start this argument here because we only have a certain amount of time left. I still insist that if you take Weyoun 8 or Eddington, you won't ever lose.
For those of you who aren't aware, Weyoun 8 and Eddington both come with mission tokens on their part of their captain abilities, on their captain cards. And by very definition, you need at least one mission token in your fleet to win or at least not be detected by the Borg. Since it doesn't specify what kind of mission tokens, whether it be the ones that come with the scenario on the ship or that come with the captains on these particular abilities, that is arguable. As a TO, I would smack you down so hard.
I know you would. I know. But literally.
Okay, this is where I'm going to get on a 15-second soapbox, and I promise I'm off.
Okay, go for it.
WizKids needs to include scenario pieces. It's not that hard. They did it for the Siege of AA or AR-447 or whatever it was. They could have made 20 tokens to put on your ships, and it would have been just as easy. And then there wouldn't be this ambiguity about Wayoon and Eddington with mission tokens.
Right, and same deal with Arena.
Right.
Yeah. Like, between, looking at the setup and reading through the rules, and generally if they say mission tokens, they mean you have to use your own that you got in the starter set. This scenario comes with absolutely 0 pieces to it. They're going to send the people a prize box, your venue a prize box with just the ships in it and no scenario elements.
Right. Oh, the enhanced shields they'll send, but that's it.
Okay. Okay, I guess we will get the participation resource.
What we all need as attack players is shield tokens, right?
We always need more shield tokens, man. I mean, got my box back here somewhere. I mean, you need to be able to, put flooring in your room somehow.
Hey, I'm trying to retile the bathroom here, so I'm almost done.
Indeed. Let's see. So, I mean, moving on from here, Tucker will be back with us in just a second, hopefully. For the most part, strategy in this it's not going to be as tight as Tholian Web, and it's not quite as punishing for going outside, for drawing outside the lines. But I mean, I don't see any reason to treat this as that much different. I mean, cloaked mines, if you have them, will be big around this area here.
Yeah.
You could jump into the detection area for your 1 or 2 turns if you really need it, but I don't see who would ever really need it. The problem is that being forced into small locations is once again going to favor our favorite Borg.
Yep.
Voyager, with its need to go long distances to turn around, is going to, shoot forward like 6 and 6 and then do 2 turns to try to face whoever it's shooting at. If it feels even the need to do that. Most of the time I figure you'll probably just be using your 360 arc anyway.
Mm-hmm. And small enclosed spaces favor things that don't lose their actions when they bump. So Ilia and Tactical Cubes.
Tactical Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, now that we're back to, one-on-one versus your fleet versus my fleet, a lot of the same things we've been looking at in like the regional list is going to apply again here. The attack negation stuff, the super defensive stuff. Yeah, I mean, just the only thing that's really going to change here is probably the presence of more mines.
Also, anything that works in the Gen Con regionals may well work here.
Oh yeah, because back at Gen Con they didn't have any scenario real terrain either.
Yeah, you don't even have a planet here.
Which is the one thing that helps mitigate a little bit of the Borg's power, but I don't think they're going to really care that much.
No, because the Borg are still amazing in open combat.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to say?
How were you? Sorry,
go ahead, Tucker.
I don't care how worried you are about mission tokens. Don't fly straight at the board. It's not going to go well.
No, that is definitely not a good idea. But, I mean, you could try your Klingon boarding party and projected stasis field fleet. I've never seen any success with it in my venues, but your mileage may vary, I guess. Have either of you two seen that pulled off successfully?
Haven't seen it. Haven't even encountered it. So I haven't seen it work or not work. Downside of in a ship pure meta, you see a little less super Borg, but not much.
Borg are still amazing with their assimilation tubules.
Oh yeah, and Croesus.
Shh. We decided we're not going to push Croesus anymore. It's too good.
Oh, Croesus is terrible.
Yeah, never.
You never want to run him.
Never run Croesus. I mean, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, especially not if you play in southern to mid Florida.
Or if you play at the Chicago Regional. Wink,
yeah.
Wink, nudge, nudge. So, what else is on here? Each player receives +5 fleet points for every mission token that is still on his ship cards when the game ends. I mean, I guess you could play this off if you can get a second ship in there that is completely immune to attack and just run out the clock. Could be a thing.
Like the Tal'Kir?
I'm assuming the blind ships will all die.
Or you could do weigh and barrel on one ship and then conditional surrender on the other.
Yeah, with SOPEC.
SOPEC, yeah.
So that could be a way for you to win if you just wanna putter around and be like, ha ha, you can't hurt me. It's a thing. Do we actually have anything else to say on this scenario? I mean, it's such a short scenario, and I feel bad that we're only giving it like 10 minutes out of the show.
I know, it's just funny to me. It's like, yeah, we're going to cover the scenario. Do what you did in Tholian Web.
We've got a full 30 minutes to work on this thing, and we've used up 11 of it now.
Dave, you were supposed to remind me about Tashiar. Okay.
Tashiar, yes, I apologize. That was David's fault. Okay. Darn it, David.
I was getting there. We were going over rules first. I was waiting.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing you can do. Okay, you ready for this?
All right.
So there's a new card that came out with the diamond, or is coming out tomorrow. I guess everybody has their hands on stuff already, so it already feels like it's out. Which is a board version of missiles. And the way they work is you throw them down, and whenever any ship runs onto them, everything in a range 3 radius gets hit. So what you do is you put the mines on whatever board ship you're running or whatever. Then you take your Romulan scout vessel, or even the Prakesh if you got in the blind buy. You take a Romulan science vessel with Tashiar, and you just keep hitting the mines over and over and over.
I feel like I've seen this done in a game somewhere before. It's just it's like fireworks.
And then when your mine trigger ship blows up, Tashiar's on it, so you get to shoot someone.
Even better than self-destruct on a cube.
Yeah, actually, how much is I stab at thee? It's range 1, so that's not as good.
Yeah, I stab at thee is 3.
No, I meant how much range was it? But
oh, yeah.
It's range 1. So I guess maybe if you found a way to get it on there cheaply, you could do that.
The combination
this is very but yeah, I mean, come on. This is what do you do for this? Run board. You're done.
The combination you could use for this is the cube with your new specialty mines. Place them underneath your own cube, and then just go back and forth every turn across them. The cube has the most hull and shields of any kind of any ship, and it'll be taking the same damage as everything else in range 3. Maybe a little less. Maybe a little more, but not by much, probably.
And then what you can do every turn? Regenerate. That's your action. Regenerate.
I don't need to attack. I'm just going to sit here and explode on myself.
And it works against Wayun Varel, I guess.
I think technically the mines count as attack, unfortunately. But it counts as an additional attack. So if you use the mines, either Wayun and Varel negates it and you get to shoot them again during the combat phase, or, you know, the other way around. They take the damage and then you don't get to shoot them during the combat phase.
Yeah. There's no way this could possibly go wrong.
We're geniuses. Mad geniuses.
You know what else you can put on there? Put regeneration sequences on there. Put 2. Are they unique? No. Put 2 regeneration sequencers on there. Discard a bunch of crew upgrades. Regenerate your hull.
You could put your own. You don't even need Wayun. You put Varel and you put Goval and you put Lee Nollis on there. That's easily 3 crew you discard for 3 attacks worth of evading. So whatever the opponent do doesn't matter. Right.
And then you regenerate a whole bunch. This is a stupid strategy. I love it.
What's the name of that song? Dare to be Stupid?
Yeah.
And why do I only know this? Because of the very old Transformers movie?
No, wait. The Scout 608Q is 1 point. Okay. Resources. Fleet Captain, Independent, Klingon.
Uh-oh, more crew.
Yeah, but we need it for Goval and what's-his-face. Fleet Captain must be unique. Stupid builder. There's a bug in this builder. Okay.
I was going to say, do you even need the crew? It works with any kind of upgrade, so you could throw a couple extra cloaked mines on there for cheaper.
But you got to have the tech.
That could be the independent Romulan flagship.
Cube has attack.
Or the independent whatever fleet captain.
Or the cube, it has attack.
And you can get 2 more.
Mm.
And everything costs -1.
And then, okay, and then, but, okay, so hold on. So, 10, 0 for Goval. So 70. And then Lee Nollis is 1, I guess.
I have brought up the spreadsheet.
72. 82, yeah! Yeah! And feedback pulse! There's your last 90. You ready for this build? I have a build for us. You ready for this build?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Help us all.
It is. Okay.
All ears.
Here we go. Borg generic tactical cube. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unique tactical drone from Scout 608, who, by the way, is the counterattack drone.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback pulse, regeneration sequencers, crazy Borg mines, Varel, Goval, and Lee Nollis. Exactly 90 points. Bam.
I wish I had my assimilation target prime handy.
There's a song I want to make a joke about, but that would definitely put us in the not family friendly column.
Yes, let's keep that clean for now.
I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway. But yeah, so just sit there and this is such a stupid build. Don't run this build. Please don't run this build.
Because you lose to enhanced hull plating on the NX-01.
Yes. If they don't mind taking 10 million auxiliary power tokens, basically, yes.
I don't think that's going to actually work, though, because you just shoot it normally with your board ship and it crumbles.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I think what you need there is tiny prize flagship Janeway, and then some way to get 2 superior intellects and steal 2 more enhanced hull platings. Then you get 6 of 8 every turn.
Now that's fun.
This build actually might be viable because there's a lot of not rolling defense dice against this stuff.
And then the only problem is enhanced hull plating still loses if you brought it, if you happen to bring an extra cloak mine along for the ride. Because the one time the ship will hit it, it'll get 3 damage on it, guaranteed every time. It's what it always does to me.
Well, to be fair, the build they just suggested requires 2 copies of assimilation target prime, so don't run that build.
Oh, like getting 2 copies of that is hard.
They're actually pretty easy to find on eBay. It's kind of sad.
I have 2.
Hey, I won both of mine legitimately.
Yes, well, I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I don't have OPs nearby me until November.
Oh, right.
I won 1 as a TO and 1 for 2nd place, so I consider those legitimate.
Works for me. That's cool. So, we did find more stuff to talk about for this scenario. Thank goodness. Woo!
Well, I guess that throws my whole idea of taking in a ship pure environment. I was going to take 3 Keldons and a cloaked mine layer Romulan science vessel, because we've made cloaked mines unique. But somehow I don't think that's actually going to work out for me at all.
I was going to say, don't base your future experience on the crazy things that we make up here.
Right.
Yeah, the answer is, look, if you want to win, just take a tactical cube with Wayne and Varel. You'll be fine.
Indeed.
Save the whole ship pure thing, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, in ship pure, do the shenanigans to get Wayne and Varel on the same tactical cube, and you'll be fine. Or not tactical cube, Soon, or whatever.
Yeah. Independent fleet captain, Croesus, yada, yada, yada. Yep, it works. It's sad, but it works.
But don't do that, because Croesus is terrible.
Yeah. No, never run Croesus. Croesus is... Stay away from him. Only leave him to the professionals. We have to keep him in line, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that'll do it for OP1 then. Just some news then from the general attack wing community at large. We have gotten all of the Wave 8 previews, and with it releasing, we do know all the cars now, so we will probably be covering those either on next week's episode or on a special bonus episode. As Tucker was brought up the idea, because we are super packed with the next couple weeks with all the releases and all the blinds that we just finished, and still they're going to be more. They release just so much every month.
Yeah, so, and Will's next week we're also going to be doing with Will's regional report, right?
Indeed. I will be heading up to the Chicago Regionals this weekend. I, in fact, leave tomorrow morning. And if you keep an eye on probably either the Facebook page, once again, facebook.com/State of the Federation. I'll probably add some links to any kind of YouTube videos I get to upload during the weekend, so you can have the hottest, freshest information available anywhere.
Oh, you know what? I just realized. The week after that, I'm going to Colorado.
Ooh. And the week after that, David's going somewhere. No.
No.
Are you going anywhere, David?
No. It was either San Diego or Portland that was closer to me. I'm in Northern California, and I was just not in a position to make a trip. So.
Yeah.
San Diego happened, right? Do we have any battle reports from that?
No, San Diego.
From San Diego? I think San Diego's happening this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the one that's the same day as yours.
Yep.
Right.
Then next week you're at Colorado, you said? And the week after that, I might also be at North Carolina.
Fudge, I might not be able to. My car died.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, well, I got to get a new car by then anyway, so.
Yeah.
But isn't Colorado the 18th?
The which one?
Colorado's the 18th.
Is it the 18th? I thought it was the 11th.
No.
I know North Carolina's the 18th.
I'm looking at the WizKids open page, and it says Colorado's on the 18th.
Oh, then it's the 18th, whatever.
Whatever. We'll have we already have 2 regionals till then to cover as well.
And then the last weekend in October, we get New York. So.
Which is cool. I've got Dan over in the chat room complaining that I'm not going to come visit him since he's up in the Chicago area. Look, Dan, I've got family up there. You don't know my little sister. She will kill me if I do not visit her.
Yeah.
She has a fondness for small, pointy things. She makes, like, chainmail jewelry with very pointy objects that she will put in my eyes.
I know.
Oh, dragon scales. Nice.
Yeah, I just got back from post-apocalyptic festival in the desert, so I now own a knife that has a hilt that's a lighter. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week we will definitely have a lot of things going up at who knows exactly when. And I know Tucker and David, I mean, you guys also have things to do, so depending on when that comes up, we might get Dan in here as a relief co-host to help us out a little bit. As well as anyone else who wants to come join us. You know, if you've got some good strategy you want to talk with us here on State of the Federation, I am definitely open to having another guest or two on the stream. I think that would be it'd be cool to mix it up a bit.
Especially if you've been to a regionals.
Yes.
I mean, backports only get you so far, you know?
Indeed. We were very lucky to have, was it Mike last week?
Yeah, Mark.
Mark. We were very lucky to have Mark last week to help us go over some questions we had about his build, and that was a great time altogether. So, yeah, I mean, definitely message us on Facebook.com/State of the Federation. It's a cool way. All the cool kids are doing it. Yeah. And yep, so all the Wave 8 reviews, once we get them in our hands, then I'll have all. I will eventually get them all typed up into the card spoiler on Board Game Geek because that's what I do when I have time. We have the OPs here that are starting up. Any other newish news that we will probably go over in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, really quickly. There was an announcement today, I think it was today, by WizKids. They conceded that the rules for Resistance to Feudal 2 are really complicated, and they released an alternative list of rules for both fleet construction and for determining which fleet you're playing. Ah,
yes, that was indeed a thing.
Yeah, if you're a TO, definitely take a look at that. If you're a player, you might want to take a look at that and then ask your TO which set they're going to run.
That is on WizKids' Facebook site. I want to say Facebook/WizKids Games.
Yeah, sounds right. It's also on Board Game Geek.
But yeah, you can Google it and you should be able to find it pretty easily. I hope. Besides that, is that I think we covered everything then? Cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. Well then, I believe, unless we have any questions in the chat room, besides Dan trying to stalk me at the Chicago Regionals.
That's creepy.
I think he just wants to get an interview with the eventual winner. You know, get an early exclusive for the other podcast show. You know, and
you're gonna like 47th, and I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna play recordings of you saying things like this.
Yeah, that would be rather terrible, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up the show for tonight. Anything you guys want to end with, David?
Nothing's coming to mind. I'm looking forward to Wave 8. I think we've got some cool options. The board continue to get more powerful, as Tucker was saying in the open. But yeah, there's stuff out there, and I like options. So the Enterprise E looks like a lot of fun, and maybe the new super dreadnought for the Federation.
That'll be definitely something fun to look at. And I don't get to even get mine until next week because I'm going to be... Well, I guess I could get them at Chicago, but I'd rather get them when I'm down here so I don't have to truck them around on a plane.
Yeah. That's okay. My store typically doesn't get stuff in until a week after the fact anyways, so...
And Will, you should be supporting your local Fulgus.
I support my local Fulgus so much. My local Fulgus is Cool Stuff Inc., okay?
Oh, they don't need your support.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, Tucker, anything you wanna close out?
I started with the Borg are annoying. I know we're not doing Wave 8 previews, and I'm sure we'll talk about this when we do. The Diamond natively comes with 2 crew slots and 2 Borg slots, and that's awful.
It's crazy.
So, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really bad for the game. Also, there's a bunch of cards in this wave that are just hilariously, like, we think the game was put together by interns. So, yeah.
To be fair, that has more to do with spelling of the octahedron, octahedron.
Octahedron. It's French.
There we go.
No. You're talking about the octahedron, right? The octahedron.
This is why I'm just calling it the Diamond.
Yeah. So for those who don't know and who haven't seen it, octahedron is spelled 4 different ways within the Queen pack alone.
One of which is actually correct.
That's the best part. So arguably, you can't even use the maneuver dial and template with the ship in the pack because they're all spelled differently. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. For now, play Wayne and Barrel in competitive events. Have fun with your friends and play Wayne and Barrel.
Or Sopek Barrel. I like Sopek.
It gives auxiliary power tokens.
Auxiliary power. But yeah. Alright guys. I think that's gonna do it for tonight. Thanks again for everyone who came out to watch. Bane of Borg and Dan, good to see you in the chat. Like to get some good interaction there. I will be heading up, like I just said, to the Chicago Regional tomorrow morning and hopefully have some news for you. But for the rest of you, for everyone else, except the guys I'm going to be facing, have good luck and may Q be generous with your dice. Have a good night, everybody.